Dale Willerton is founder and CEO of the Lease Coach. The Lease Coach represents a wide range of tenants, from healthcare professionals to restaurant chains, as well as retail outlets. He has successfully negotiated and consulted on over 600 projects for tenants across North America. Dale, nice to see you.
My pleasure.
Dale, can the Lease Coach help large businesses with their lease renewal?
Well, as a matter of fact, we can. Sometimes it will be like a large insurance company with 2 floors of office space, or it might be a 10 or 12,000 square foot restaurant. The important thing to remember is that the big business owner has more to lose.
So what are some of the most common problems businesses face with lease renewals?
Typically, when a business owner is faced with a lease renewal, they will start the leasing process too late. We recommend that you start 9, if not 12 months in advance. Okay? Tenants will sometimes leave their lease renewal negotiations at 2 or 3 months that are left on the lease term, and then the landlord has them between a rock and a hard spot. So that's really a critical area. Start far enough in advance. Secondly, do not hand your lease renewal over to the landlord on a silver platter. Do not telegraph buying signals. You know, don't say, well, I've been in this location for 9 years, I guess we'll stay, send me over a lease renewal. You really want to approach the landlord and start by saying, Mr. Landlord, I've been in this location for 9.5 years. I've never missed a rent payment. Are you interested in retaining me as a tenant? And usually the landlord or the landlord's property manager will do something like this. They'll say, well, of course we want you to stay. You're not thinking of moving, are you? Well, it just so happens that a couple of other real estate agents have been showing me their property. You see, it's not that I want to move, but what are you prepared to do for me? Make the landlord re-earn your tenancy. Don't just give it to them.
Dale, what are some of the leasing do's and don'ts pertaining to lease renewals?
Some of the most important leasing do's and don'ts pertaining to a lease renewal is start the process well in advance. That's a must do. Okay, start 12 months in advance. Create competition for your tenancy by, even if you don't want to move, keep in mind, landlords know something that tenants don't realize. Most tenants want to renew their lease. Landlords know that. And tenants need to put that on the back burner for a second and say to themselves, what if I couldn't renew? What if this location wasn't going to be here? They were going to bulldoze it down or build something else here. It was going to burn down. Where would I look? And you start looking for other locations. An important don't is don't telegraph your intentions, don't give buying signals, and don't let your staff do it. You want the landlord to be concerned that they may lose your tenancy. That's incredibly important.
And can large businesses take advantage of the economic climate?
Large businesses are very well positioned to negotiate and receive rent reductions on their lease renewals. There are not as many tenants as there were before, not as many business owners looking to lease location. There's more vacancy. I've been traveling Miami, Washington, San Diego. There's more for lease signs than ever before, and that's good for the tenant, you see. And so definitely the bigger the business, the more clout they have. But the more serious they have to approach the whole leasing process. Don't just make a phone call and wait for a document to arrive. You've got to be proactive if you want to get a good deal. Landlords still want to get as much rent as they can. You know, it's sort of like Zig Ziglar said to me once. He said, cows don't give milk. You've got to take every drop. Well, that's the way we negotiate. You see, we don't wait for them to hand us a rent reduction. We take it. We negotiate for it. We are aggressive, not arrogant, but we are aggressive, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of rent at stake. I just finished doing a lease for a tenant in San Diego. He took it as far as he could, and then he turned the negotiations over to the Lease Coach. He stood in front of a camera like this and gave us a testimonial and said, we saved him $35,000. It's a little bit about saving money, it's a little bit about protecting you, but it's about making the right decisions as well.
If somebody wants to find out more, how do they do that?
Tenants can visit theleasecoach.com. They will see a variety of self-help products if they want to help them themselves, or they can turn to us for services. We do everything from document reviews to site selection, coaching and consulting, and we negotiate lease renewals and new leases all the time. We're really a magnet for tenants that are having difficulty, but we're also attracting a lot of business owners that know they can do better. They don't know how, but they're willing to find out, and that's so important. The leasing process is not supposed to be easy. In fact, it's quite difficult. But if you're in the industry, if you're a real estate professional and you only work for tenants the way the Lease Coach does, you can really bring a lot of benefit to that business owner.
Dale, thank you very much.
My pleasure.